Today, we're delving into a topic that's sure to stir some nostalgia while also equipping you with valuable tips to save money in your everyday life. We'll be unearthing the wisdom from yesteryears and exploring 25 frugal techniques from Grandma's kitchen. These time-honored strategies teach us not just about saving money, but also about reducing waste, making the most of what we have, and creating delicious, wholesome food. So let's get started. Tip 1. Bulk buying and storage. Grandma had a knack for practical wisdom, and one of her go-to strategies was buying in bulk. She knew that pantry staples like rice, pasta, beans, lentils, and flour were cheaper when bought in larger quantities. But she didn't just stop at buying in bulk. She stored these items in sturdy, airtight containers, often labeling them neatly and keeping them in a cool, dry place, ensuring these bulk-bought goods lasted for months or even years. Tip 2. Home baking. Does anyone else remember the aroma of freshly baked bread from Grandma's kitchen? It's a heartwarming memory many of us share. Homemade bread, biscuits, cakes, and pies were the norm in her kitchen. Home baking saves a significant amount of money over time, as you can control the ingredients and tailor them to your dietary needs and preferences. Plus, the process of baking itself can be a wonderfully therapeutic and fulfilling activity. Tip 3. Meal planning. Meal planning was an essential part of Grandma's routine. She planned meals ahead of time, making sure she used ingredients that she had on hand, which minimized waste and maximized efficiency. Meal planning also streamlined the grocery shopping process, saving time and money. Tip 4. Reusing leftovers. In Grandma's kitchen, food was honored and valued, and leftovers were given a new lease on life. Rather than seeing leftovers as unwanted remains, Grandma saw them as ingredients for the next meal. Leftovers were ingeniously repurposed into new meals, salads, sandwiches, or stews, reducing waste and providing creative, delicious meals. Tip 5. Home canning and preserving. Preserving the season's bounty was a time-honored tradition in Grandma's kitchen. Whether it was making jams and jellies from summer berries or pickling cucumbers, she made sure the taste of each season could be savored long after it was gone. Canning and preserving are great ways to reduce food waste and save money, especially when you have a bumper crop of fruits or veggies. Tip 6. Making homemade stock. Grandma's soups were always rich and full of flavor, and homemade stock was her secret. She would keep vegetable peels, meat bones, and other scraps, simmering them for hours to make a flavorful broth. This not only added depth to her dishes, but also ensured that no nutritious bit went to waste. Tip 7. Growing her own vegetables and herbs. Many of our grandmothers had a green thumb cultivating their own vegetables, herbs, and sometimes fruits in their backyard gardens. Home gardening is a delightful hobby that provides fresh, organic produce right at your doorstep and saves a significant amount of money over time. Tip 8. Cooking from scratch. Before the convenience of packaged meals and fast food, Grandma cooked wholesome meals from scratch. This not only allowed her to control the quality of ingredients, but also helped save money. Plus, the taste of home-cooked meals is truly unparalleled. Tip 9. Seasonal cooking. Grandma was in tune with nature and the seasons, and her cooking reflected that. She cooked with seasonal produce, which is often cheaper, fresher, and more flavorful. This also allowed her to enjoy a diverse range of produce throughout the year. Tip 10. Making homemade desserts. Sweet treats from Grandma's kitchen were always special, primarily because they were homemade. Making your own desserts can be a fun and fulfilling activity, and it also saves money. Plus, you can adjust the sweetness level and avoid unnecessary preservatives. Tip 11. Making use of all parts of the food. Grandma knew the value of everything that came into her kitchen, and she was an expert at reducing waste. She would use parts of the food that we often discard today. Beet greens, broccoli stalks, or even watermelon rinds had their place in her kitchen, all contributing to nutritious, waste-free cooking. Tip 12. Drying herbs and spices. We'll get to that in a second. I have a favor to ask of you. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel. Many of us remember our grandmother's kitchens adorned with bunches of herbs hanging upside down to dry. Drying herbs and spices is a great way to preserve them, and they add a punch of flavor to meals. It's also more cost-effective than buying pre-packaged dried herbs. Tip 13. Homemade cleaning solutions. Frugality extended beyond cooking in Grandma's kitchen. She often made her own cleaning solutions using simple ingredients like vinegar, baking soda, and lemon juice. Not only were these homemade cleaners effective, but they were also eco-friendly and gentle on the wallet. Tip 14. Reducing electricity usage. Grandma was a steward of her resources, and she knew how to save energy in the kitchen. She would try to fill the oven completely whenever she used it, making the most of the energy consumed. Using a slow cooker, pressure cooker, or cooking over low heat on the stove also helped save energy. Tip 15. Using a shopping list. One of Grandma's golden rules was never to go shopping without a list. A shopping list derived from the meal plan helped her buy exactly what she needed, minimizing impulse purchases and ensuring no food was wasted. Tip 16. Cooking in batches. Grandma was efficient in her kitchen tasks. She would often cook in batches, saving time and energy. Plus, having ready-made meals in the fridge or freezer made for convenient and quick meal options on busy days. Tip 17. Making her own yogurt. Making your own yogurt might sound daunting, but it was a common practice in Grandma's kitchen. Homemade yogurt is economical, healthy, and allows you to control the flavor and sweetness. Tip 18. Saving and reusing grease. Resourcefulness was key in Grandma's kitchen. Cooking grease, especially from bacon or roast meats, was often saved and reused. This not only added flavor to dishes, but also saved money on cooking oil. Tip 19. Bearing the bones. Meat bones were valued in Grandma's kitchen for their ability to add depth and richness to broths and soups. Using bones to their full potential ensures nothing goes to waste and contributes to more flavorful dishes. Tip 20. Making homemade salad dressings. Grandma often made her own salad dressings. Not only were they cheaper and healthier than store-bought versions, but they could also be customized to personal taste preferences. Tip 21. Making homemade condiments. Continuing the theme of homemade, many of our grandmothers made their own condiments like ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. This practice allowed them to control the ingredients and save money. Tip 22. Investing in quality cookware. Quality was a defining feature in Grandma's kitchen. She knew that investing in a durable set of pots and pans might be more expensive up front, but it would pay off in the long run due to its longer lifespan and better cooking performance. Tip 23. Homemade juices and beverages. Rather than buying store-bought juices and sodas filled with artificial flavors and sugars, our grandmothers often made their own drinks. Homemade lemonade, iced tea, or even simple infused water provided refreshing, wholesome alternatives. Tip 24. Utilizing freezer space. Freezing was a magic trick in Grandma's kitchen. From freezing ripe fruits for smoothies or pies to storing loaves of bread for longer shelf life, she knew how to utilize her freezer to reduce waste and save money. Tip 25. Sharing and exchanging with neighbors. One of the most heartwarming practices from Grandma's time was the sharing and exchanging of meals with neighbors. This practice fostered strong community ties, and it also introduced variety and excitement in everyday meals. And there you have it, a deep dive into the wisdom of the past, encapsulating 25 frugal techniques from Grandma's kitchen. These tips aren't just about saving money. They're also about fostering a sense of mindfulness and appreciation for the resources we have. We hope you found these tips both informative and inspiring. Do you have any tips of your own that you've inherited from your grandparents or learned along the way? We would love to hear from you in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to keep learning and exploring with us, do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Until our next video, let's keep the wisdom of our grandmothers alive in our kitchens.